Welcome to the Frontline Stories channel. We are here with the most up-to-date and critical news from the front lines of the war. Today, we will examine in detail how the Ukrainian Air Force dealt a major blow to Russia's strategic points and the deep and complex story behind this move. On a night when darkness covered everything, and even the stars were not visible, a deep silence prevailed on the banks of the Seym River. This bridge was an ancient structure located in the Kursk region, which had witnessed the passage of many people, caravans, and vehicles throughout history. The weariness of the years could be felt in these stones and this structure. However, tonight, a new page would be added to the story of the bridge. Perhaps the most dramatic and critical moment in its history would be experienced. Even the waters on the shore were different that night. They were restless, as if they sensed what was to come in the future. The wind passing over the bridge created a tense atmosphere and directed everyone's attention to the sky. The uncertainty and anxiety that filled people's hearts were the harbingers of an approaching storm. Suddenly, a sound broke through the night. A roar, a murmur, a boom. It was a sound that shattered the silence, a harbinger of a storm. Shadows appeared in the sky, moving rapidly. Ukrainian fighter jets emerged from the cover of darkness and headed for their target. Their mission was clear: to strike a blow to the heart of Russia, severing its strategic lines. These aircraft were focused on a single target: the bridge in the Kursk region, one of the main arteries of Moscow's military operations and the primary target of the Ukrainian Air Force. This attack was the product of months of planning and strategy by the Ukrainian Air Force. Every detail had been carefully studied, every possibility had been considered. The target chosen was of such strategic importance that it would disrupt Moscow's military power and logistical support lines. This attack symbolized the beginning of a new phase in Kiev's war against Moscow. Ukraine, which had been on the defensive for 2.5 years, was now taking the initiative and attacking, and for the first time was dealing such a powerful blow to Russian territory. This was not only an attack for Ukraine, but also a symbol of resurrection and awakening. The explosions echoed in the depths of Kursk, and these echoes had such a powerful effect that they were written into history books. The bridge was destroyed in a matter of seconds, leaving only a cloud of smoke and debris. This smoke, rising from the banks of the Seym River, actually symbolized the collapse of not only a bridge, but also Russia's morale and strategic power. This attack by Ukraine largely paralyzed the lines through which Russian troops received logistical support. Now, Russian forces in Kursk were left isolated and without support in front of Ukraine. This situation meant not only a logistical problem for the Russian army, but also a collapse of morale. The echoes of this dramatic event spread to the most remote corners of Russia. This was not just the collapse of a bridge, it was a shakeup of all of Russia's strategic plans. President Vladimir Zelensky's appeals to the West, especially his demands for longer-range weapons, were now being voiced more strongly and decisively. This attack in Kursk had become a symbol of Ukraine's determination and resistance in the war. Every soldier, every civilian felt how important this attack was for Ukraine's independence and freedom. This was not just the destruction of a bridge, it was a ray of hope and light for every individual fighting for Ukraine's freedom. However, this strategic attack by Kiev also brought about a reaction from Moscow. Russia claimed that HIMARS missiles provided by the US were used in these attacks. These claims were neither confirmed nor denied by Ukraine. While Kiev remained silent, the world began to wonder how long this war would last. How many more bridges and cities would be destroyed? This silence also created uncertainty about where the war would evolve. Everyone was eagerly waiting to see what the next move would be. The Ukrainian offensive in Kursk was only part of a strategy that was expanding and becoming more complex. Every soldier who crossed the Seym River knew that this war was not just a struggle for territory, but also a struggle for honor and freedom. This war was a turning point in Ukraine's struggle for independence. It was not fought for just a piece of territory, but for the honor, identity, and future of a nation. This story is an epic of an endless struggle, of the rebirth of a nation. Every attack, every line of defense is part of this great epic, and this story will continue to be told throughout history as a heroic tale to be passed on to future generations.